All right, time to pack my hospital bag. So I got this backpack from Target. It is a super cool carry-on that I use for travel. This is what I used in my vlogs to Colorado when I did my short trip. This fits a bunch of stuff. Super grateful to have it. I think cost me like $50. If it's still available, I'll link it somewhere in the video. Packing for basically three of us. My buddy Danielle is going to be the person that we drop Freya off with during my labor process, just because, again, we live in an area where we don't really have family. My buddy Danielle, her and I have been friends since I was pregnant with Freya, so going on 3 years now. She lives on base and she is a nurse, and she also has a little kiddo of her own. Love her and her husband. She's great people. And I can 100% feel secure leaving my crazy toddler with her. So hopefully as I go into labor, the transition with dropping Freya off and getting to the hospital and delivering and picking her up and all that stuff works out. I'm trying not to think too much about it because there's really no way to plan for an event that you know is coming, but you don't know when it's going to happen. So for myself, this belly band I used after delivering Freya. I put it on right after delivering, and it helped tremendously with just giving me some support around my tummy so that I can maneuver around the hospital room. I've been told that wearing a belly band also helps to prevent diastasis separation from being prolonged, so your body is able to kind of like pull it back in and pull your ligaments back around those muscles together. So I'm not gonna forget that. I also am gonna use a birthing gown this time. I got this one off of Amazon. I like it because the top is stretchy and accessible for feeding. The front part splits open, so if I need to wear a fetal monitor, it can all be kind of contained, and it's nice and soft. The hospital gown that they give you is super scratchy and annoying. I forgoed it the first time, and I delivered in kind of like a black slip maternity gown, and I just didn't really like that one, so I got another one. Hopefully I don't need to buy another one, because I would have liked this one so much that if I have another kid, I'll use it again. I also have lots of undies, just the regular like boy short kind of cut. That way I can fit things like my liners on the inside, so after you deliver you'll have lots of bleeding. I used these, and I also used the Depend diapers, which were great. I 100% recommend those. I am only just going to use these because I have some left over from when I gave birth. So I'm gonna finish what I have before I order my Depends. So we'll put that in here. For those liners, I also have some medicated wipes from Tux. So really love these. They are witch hazel hemorrhoidal pads that you can just kind of lay down inside your pad. Helps to cool things off for you after you've given birth. Feels really nice, helps with the swelling. I also have my Peri bottle. Y'all, this thing, the best. I recommend using warm water on it, but if you need cool water, you can totally fill it up. just fill it up by the sink and then twist it on and then use the nozzle to squirt. Helps clean things up, helps with that first kind of movement that you do post-birth, which can feel a little intimidating just because your pelvic floor is like non-existent. But between those two things and the honey pot has this anti-itch spray that really helps too when things are healing, that I would spray directly either onto the pad or onto myself after using the bathroom. Works really great. The hospital does give you like a Dermablast like spray that's like this big that comes in like a blue can. I still have those sprays in the bathroom. I personally was not a fan of them, and you don't really use up all of the stuff like initially, as you can tell. A lot of this is things that I have left over from when I gave birth a while back. So you can pick and choose whether or not you want to use their things or your own stuff. I also am packing 2 pairs of socks because you will be cold. I'm giving birth in February if I make it to my due date, which tends to be in the negatives here in Montana. February is when we have our like -20, -30, -40, with wind chill, like all of that stuff. So I want to be nice and cozy and prepared for being in a cooler room and then going home. Speaking of which, for the going home process, I packed myself tried and true leggings, and because I'll have some type of diaper on, which will definitely show through your leggings, I have a long tunic to wear to cover my literal diaper butt that I'm gonna have, and will go under my long jacket that I'll need to wear outside into that -degree weather. I plan on having my hair in some type of protective style after I give birth, just so that I don't look completely toe up from the floor. So, but if not, little ponytail situation and a hat. I'm packing this just in case I don't get around to doing my hair before I give birth. I also will be packing some deodorant, my face wash, some lotion for myself and my husband, a bar of soap, and just kind of like a under eye concealer, face concealer, and then a little blending sponge for myself. Again, you give birth, you don't want to look back at your pictures and be like, damn, I look terrible, because that's how I feel looking back at my pictures with Freya. I look absolutely awful. And I don't want to repeat the same thing. So I want to be able to put those pictures up on the wall and not go by and go, ooh, every single time I see it. Next thing will be for Sylvie. So and I forgot a little moisturizer for my face again. It's gonna be dry, but for Sylvie, she'll have a little onesie. I'm bringing multiple clothes for her because I can't remember how many things we kind of went through of clothes at the hospital. The hospital does provide you with like the very standard kind of button across shirt, and I think a pant of some sort, and then a blankie and their first hat. Usually all of that stuff is covered in blood and gross. So after you take them out of all of that and you get them cleaned up for the first time, there's a couple outfits. Usually you stay at the hospital for about 24 hours post-birth if everything is fine before you're discharged. So she'll have a really nice soft thick layer for clothing here. She'll have another one here that's buttoned up across the front. And then I have kind of like a base layer for a onesie here that you can then put into another one. And this is just to help make her nice and snug and warm for the transition home. Again, negative 20-degree weather. You also don't want to put your kiddo in any type of kind of like winter gear when you're traveling with them, because if they get to a wreck, the padding from the gear will not make them secure inside their car seat. I don't want my baby literally being ejected from the car. And I also got her this cute little shearling warm knit hat to keep her head nice and warm. This would probably go on top of the hat that she'll have when they give her a nice clean one for her transition out of the hospital. We also are packing this memory book. I have this one for Freya, and I'm really bad about filling these things out. I don't even think Freya's is fully filled out, but I just want to make sure that I get her little baby footprint taken care of, because I don't think I grabbed one from Freya and ended up her baby footprint is like her toddler footprint, like smooshed onto here, which is kind of funny, but so that way we can have that done. I also have some of those circular month wood rounds that says like, hi, I'm like newborn, 1 month, whatever. That's in my daughter's room now. So when she gets up from her nap, I will take that, pop it into this bag. The other thing we got is a car seat and body support. So this is an insert that will go inside the car seat that we have selected for her. Again, we didn't do this with Freya. Freya was a summer baby. We were new parents. We thought she would fit into that car seat, but she did fit, but she just looked like super tiny in comparison to the car seat and not comfy. So this is an extra padding that I will put inside our car seat today. I'm also going to be packing these little baby clippers. They're from Frida, and when they're born with like razor claws on their fingers, and I just want to make sure I cut all of that off before we do anything, because they're painful on the skin. They'll scratch their face. I'm not gonna do mittens with Sylvie. Freya didn't like her mittens, so I'm not gonna continue to do the mittens. And I don't want her to scratch her face up that first day if she figures out her swaddle the way Freya did in like literally 2 seconds. So I'll have that done for her so she'll be not a hazard to herself. Also packing a charger for phones. My husband will have a pillow, a blanket, his water bottle, and a camera. I have my water bottle as well. I'm not going to bring diapers because, again, the hospital provides that, and any other thing for Sylvie, like a hair comb and wash and any type of body creams. Usually the hospital provides as well, and I don't want to pack things if I don't need to bring them and then unpack them. So the less I have in there, the better. A couple things that we'll be prepping for her at home will be the Frida has like an electronic nose sucker. So the attachments aren't on here right now because I washed them and they're drying, but this will be charged up, as well as the Owlet baby monitor sock. I use this with Freya. I like it a lot because it just helps with kind of that postpartum mom anxiety that you get, that they're not breathing, they're not even alive in their bassinet, even though they're like right there. So this is just a bit of assurance. I'm not sure yet if I want to set the bassinet up again. We did for Freya, but I'm not sure if I want to do that with Sylvie, if I want to just set her directly into her room and just use the Owlet right away, and that way I can just get into the routine of having her out of our room. and not be in our room. Our room is not that large, and having the bassinet in there is just really poor movement for myself. And with a toddler that can leave her bedroom and come into our room at any time, I want to be accessible. So I'm gonna charge up the outlet, make sure it works, re-download the app, all that stuff, and use this. Again, I used it for Freya a little while, but I just didn't really rely on it a lot, and this is a really nice and expensive gift that I got from a friend, so I'm gonna make sure I use it this time around. I have 3 supplements that I'm also going to make sure that I'm on. The Super B Complex, because it helps with prevention of postpartum depression. So it is a methylated B12 complex, which means it's just easier for your body to absorb. If you are a poor methylator, which I am, my body doesn't have the easiest time or is able to break down certain supplements in their raw form to make the next version of itself. So a methylated version is really helpful. Magnesium glycinate help with the overall body, and collagen. Collagen, I swear by, stops your boobs from like doing the whole fruit roll-up deal after your milk comes in. So all of these are also pregnancy safe, but please check with your provider if you are watching this video and looking to kind of mime the things that I'm doing. I'm also going to make sure that my breast pump is fully charged. My milk came in very quick with Freya, even though I was induced 2 weeks before she was born. So I want to make sure that that's ready. I have milk bags ready. I want to make sure bottles are washed for collection, but you can collect directly into the milk. So I'll make sure, or into the plastic bag. So I'll make sure that all the phalanges and stuff that attach to this are working. That's fully charged. That's ready to go. I like that you can charge it and make it portable. I have, fortunately, 2 breast pumps, so I'll sit one in like an area like the living room, and then I'll set one in our bedroom, because chances are if I'm feeding Sylvie in her room, I'll have a Haka attachment for the letdown on one breast, and I won't be pumping because I'll be feeding her from both. Whereas in the room, if she's in there with me, I can pump in there in peace, or I can pump in the living room piece depending on what's going on there. But I mean, we'll have family here too, so it's kind of like I can't just be whipping out my boobs when my father-in-law is here. So that would make things awkward. Another thing, I'm putting down a pee pad in our bed to catch any potential breaking of water before I go into birth. And then I will continuously put these underneath the fitted sheet after I've delivered because of leaking onto the sheets. So this will keep things nice and dry. I'll be able to strip the sheets without getting the mattress wet. This is probably the best tip I can give anybody, is to make sure you have some of these on hand. My water broke the first time at the hospital, fortunately for me, because I was induced. I don't know if I'll need to be induced this time, so I just want to be prepared and not ruin my furniture or my home in the process of getting ready to deliver. But yeah, that's all I've got so far. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but that's it. That's all I can think of. If I've forgotten something, I'll put it in the description below.